قال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوضي قد أذنت لك فدخل معه تحت الكساء. اللهم صل على محمد وآله. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولد الحسين عليه السلام قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه، فقلت وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال لي يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت نعم إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء. فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه والسلام عليك يا من اختاره الله، أتعزن لي أن أكون معكما تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافي أمتي قد أذنت لك فدخل معهما تحت الكساء. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. فقلت وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. فقال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عم رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت نعم ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله وأتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال له وعليك السلام يا أخي ويا وسيي وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. ثم آتيت نحو الكساء وقلت السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بضعتي قد أذنت لك فادخلت تحت الكساء. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ برسول الله بطرفي الكساء وأومى بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وحامتي، لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن صالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم. إنهم مني وأنا منهم، فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. الله صل على محمد وآله. وقال الله عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان السماوات إني ما خلقت السماء مبنيا ولا أرضا مدحيا ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضية ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبرائيل يا ربي ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة، هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فقال جبرائيل يا ربي أتأذن لي أن أحبط إلى الأرض ليكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله نعم قد أذنت لك. فهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله، العلي الأعلى يقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت السماء مبنيا ولا أرضا مدحيا ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئة ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لعجلكم ومحبتكم، وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم، فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله: وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله. فإنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء فقال لأبي: إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول: إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآله. فقال علي لأبي: يا رسول الله، أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله: والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واستفاني بالرسالة نجيا، ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي عليه السلام: إذا والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال أبي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله: يا علي، والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واستفاني بالرسالة نجيا، ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا وفيهم محموم إلا وفرج الله هما، ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غما، ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي عليه السلام: إذا والله فزنا وسعدنا، وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة. اللهم صل على
Salawat. This is a poem about the martyrdom of Imam Hasan Askari. Again, again, and again and again, see how revisits to the Prophet's house the pain. Martyred this time is its 11th member. In whatever grade, all are the prophetic character, Hasan his name, Askari his fame. Because at his command an army of angels came. At its sight the tyrant caliph was terrified. A little earlier had showed to Imam his army and pride. Having had such power, lo, he didn't utilize. At such a patience the earth coiled in globe round the paradise. His lineage goes to Zahra, Ali, and the Prophet. Age yields to him, time surrenders in respect. They stand in their time of their times Muhammad. Muhammad himself said, my sons are all Muhammad. The patience of Imam fatigued the tyrant. Of the rightful authority of the Imam, he wasn't ignorant. Prayers are not accepted if one tipsy. Drink your love and pray. The difference you see. In the elixir of their love, waves and ocean. Heaven the coast, paradise was set in motion. You are the moon that knows no eclipse. Sinners from hell are a ray of your light will release. Wages of the Prophet for his toil of guidance. It is your love directed to us in God's ordinance. In the dark pit of the grave, where is the light? In the dark pit of the grave, where is the light? Your love is the candle, and shattered goes the plight. Who says death is horrible? Who says death is horrible? In your love, in your presence, it is beautiful. I am ready to die time and again, because I know you come. To see you all is that I gain. You are father of the Imam of our time. Flows the basket too, as flows the river of time. Salawat.
ایک مرتبہ امام زمانہ کی خوشنودی کے لیے پرزور صلوات پڑھیں۔ مہدین میں آمد کے دن ہے یہ بھی زینب علیہ السلام کے اور شہداء کربلا کے قدسے کے لیے ایک سلام جو میری والدہ اکثر جو ہے پڑھا کرتی تھیں وہ میں پڑھ رہا ہوں اس دعا کے ساتھ کہ مولا محمد و آل محمد علیہ السلام ہم جملہ مومن و مومنات کو ہر قسم کی ناگہانی آفت سے ان کے بچوں کو ان کے والدین کو ہر قسم کی ناگہانی آفت سے محفوظ رکھے اور مولا صحت و سلامتی عطا کرے کہ ہم انشاءاللہ تعالی اگلے سال بھی مولا ہمیں یہ توفیق عطا کریں کہ ہم محمد و آل محمد کو امام حسین علیہ السلام کا پرسہ دے سکیں۔ ایک مرتبہ دوبارہ صلوات پڑھیے۔ قبر مادر پہ زینب پکاری، لٹ کے آئی ہے بیٹی تمہاری، خبر مادر پہ زینب پکاری، لٹ کے آئی ہے بیٹی تمہاری، ایک عجب شان کی ہے سواری، لٹ کے آئی ہے بیٹی تمہاری، اماں ہم کربلا کے مسافر، لوٹ آئے مدینے میں آخر، اماں ہم کربلا کے مسافر، لوٹ آئے مدینے میں آخر، اپنی حالت بتانے سے قاصر، لٹ کے آئی ہے بیٹی تمہاری، اماں بھائی کو سجدے میں مارا، کتنا دل سوز تھا وہ نظارہ، بھائی کا جسم تھا پارا پارا، لٹ کے آئی ہے بیٹی تمہاری، اماں کوفے کی شہزادیوں کو قید رکھا نبی زادیوں کو، کیا کہوں اپنی بربادیوں کو، لٹ کے آئی ہے بیٹی تمہاری، لٹ کے آئی ہے بیٹی تمہاری قبر مادر پہ زینب پکاری لٹ کے آئی ہے بیٹی تمہاری. سلوات.
آج میں چند اشعار جناب ام المعصوم حضرت خدیجہ کبریٰ سلام اللہ علیہ کے لیے پیش کر رہا ہوں، جس کا عنوان ہے شمع شبستان رسالت. اے قبلہ اول کے لیے امن کی قندیل، اے قبلہ اول کے لیے امن کی قندیل، اے مصحف ناطق کے ہر ایک لفظ کی تعویل، اور اے آیا قرآن مبین سورہ انجیل، اے دین پیمبر کے لیے نقطہ تکمیل، باتہا کے شبستان کے لیے پہلی کرن ہے، تو سرور کونین کے خوابوں کا چمن ہے، اور چمکا ہے کچھ ایسے مہ اختر تیرے گھر کا، جبریل امی بھی ہے گداگر تیرے گھر کا، فیضان نظر سب پہ برابر تیرے گھر کا، اور مقروض ہے خود دین پیمبر تیرے گھر کا. میں سوچتا رہتا ہوں کہ تو کون ہے کیا ہے، میں سوچتا رہتا ہوں کہ تو کون ہے کیا ہے، بی بی تیرا داماد نصیری کا خدا ہے. اللہ رے تیری عصمت و شوکت کا یہ گلزار، حوریں ہیں نگہباں تو پیمبر ہے نگہدار، بچے ہیں کہ جنت کے جوانوں کے ہیں سردار، اور تو مملکت دین کے لیے آخری حد ہے، رشتے میں تو کونین کے سادات کی جد ہے. اور توحید، یہ کافی لمبا ہے، میں نے اس کو مختصر کر رہا ہوں. توحید کے دنیا میں نگہباں بہت ہیں، توحید کے دنیا میں نگہباں بہت ہیں، اب دین کی حفاظت کے بھی سامان بہت ہیں، احسان تیرے سرمایہ عمران بہت ہیں، تو کیا تیری اولاد کے احسان بہت ہیں، اور یہ کم تو نہیں جو تیری بیٹی نے کیا ہے، دم توڑتے اسلام کو شبیر دیا ہے، اور سرمایہ انفاس پیمبر تیرا کردار، زہرا کی طبیعت سے بھی نازک تیری گفتار، ارباب جہالت کو کچلتی ہوئی رفتار، اے دین مکمل کے لیے دولت بیدار، اسلام کی عظمت تیری مرہون رہے گی، تا حشر نبوت تیری ممنون رہے گی، اور ایمان کو مصیبت سے بچاتی رہی تو، ایمان کو مصیبت سے بچاتی رہی تو، اسلام کو دامن میں چھپاتی رہی تو، باطل کے خد و خال مٹاتی رہی تو، آندھی میں چراغ اپنا جلاتی رہی تو، اور جب تک یہ زمانہ یوں ہی پرواز کرے گا، جب تک یہ زمانہ یوں ہی پرواز کرے گا، اسلام تیرے نام پہ 100 ناز کرے گا، اور رتبے میں کہاں کوئی ہوا تیرے برابر، رتبے میں کہاں کوئی ہوا تیرے برابر، کیوں کر کوئی کہلائے گا آخر تیرا ہمسر، حیدر تیرا داماد محمد تیرا شوہر، حیدر تیرا داماد محمد تیرا شوہر، حسنین نواسے ہیں تو زہرا تیری دختر، اور دوزخ تیرے دشمن کے لیے گرم ہوا ہے، جنت تیری نالین اٹھانے کا صلہ ہے. پوچھا تیری تاریخ کے ہر دور سے ہم نے، پوچھا تیری تاریخ کے ہر دور سے ہم نے یہ بھید بھی پایا نہ کسی اور سے ہم نے، دیکھی نہیں مائیں کبھی اس طور سے ہم نے، دیکھے جو تیرے لخت جگر غور سے ہم نے، ہر مرد جری عکس اب وج نظر آیا، ہر فرد تیرے گھر کا محمد نظر آیا، اور اگر تیری اجازت ہو تو ایک عرض ہے سرکار، اگر تیری اجازت ہو تو ایک عرض ہے سرکار، بیٹی تیری جٹلائی گئی کیوں سرے دربار، کیوں لاش حسن پہ ہوئی تیروں کی بوچھار، زینب کی ردا چھن گئی وہ بھی سرے بازار، کیوں تیرے گھرانے پہ ستم اتنا ہوا ہے، اتنی بڑی خدمت کا کیا یہی اجر ملا ہے، تاراج ہوا تیری امیدوں کا چمن کیوں، پامال ہوئے ریت پہ معصوم بدن کیوں، شبیر کی میت رہی بے گور و کفن کیوں، اور زینب پس گردن ہوئی مجروح رسن کیوں، اور معصوم سکینہ کو کفن کیوں نہ ملا تھا، معصوم سکینہ کو کفن کیوں نہ ملا تھا، کیا یہ بھی فقط تیری مشقت کا صلہ تھا، صلوات۔
محمد وآل محمد صلوات۔
سلوات، پھر بھی سلوات۔ پروانہ ارم ہے محبت حسین کی، پروانہ ارم ہے محبت حسین کی، اللہ کی نظر میں ہے خدمت حسین کی، اسلام کا نشان ہے بدولت حسین کی، سچ پوچھئے تو ہو گئی جنت حسین کی، بیر گناہ میں کشتی ایمان کا ناخدا، بیر گناہ میں کشتی ایمان کا ناخدا، موجوں کو کاٹتا ہوا اس شان سے چلا، قربان دل کیا کہیں سینہ چھدا لیا، قربان دل کیا کہیں کبھی سینہ چھلا دیا، سر دے کے گھر لٹا کے کنارے پہ آ لگا، سر دے کے گھر لٹا کے عالم میں خون کی نہر بہی حق کی راہ میں، تفریق کر گئی ہے حلال و حرام میں، تفریق کر گئی ہے حلال و، قربان تجھ پہ فاتح میدان کربلا، قربان تجھ پہ فاتح میدان کربلا، ایمان کے مکتبوں میں نہ ہوتا لکھا پڑھا، ناطق نے جان بیچ کے مطلق بچا لیا، ناطق نے جان بیچ کے مطلق بچا لیا، حق کا جو خاص کام تھا انجام دے دیا، ایسے مٹے کہ اس پہ اسے شاد کر دیا، دنیا میں دین حق کو آباد کر دیا، صلوات۔
صلوات۔
محمد وآل محمد۔
بارے دیگر سلوات۔ لا الہ تو پڑھ لیا اب لے مزہ تاثیر کا، لا الہ تو پڑھ لیا اب لے مزہ تاثیر کا، لا الہ کی تہ کے نیچے شبیر کا، لا الہ کے پڑھنے والوں لا الہ سے پوچھ لو، لا الہ کے پڑھنے والوں لا الہ سے پوچھ لو، لا الہ تو بچ گیا گھر لٹ گیا شبیر کا، لا الہ تو پڑھ لیا. صلوات پڑھ. چھٹ کر پدر سے بے کس و تنہا تھے عسکری، چھٹ کر پدر سے بے کس و تنہا تھے عسکری، چھٹ کر پدر سے بے کس و تنہا تھے عسکری، پابند حکم خالق یکتا تھے عسکری، پابند حکم خالق یکتا تھے عسکری، دم بھر نہ دست ظلم عدو سے ملی پناہ، دم بھر نہ دست ظلم عدو سے ملی پناہ، پردیس میں غریب مدینہ ہوا تباہ، صدہا مصیبتیں تھیں ہزاروں ملال تھے، صدہا مصیبتیں تھیں ہزاروں ملال تھے، ذوف جگر سے جانو قلب پائمال تھے، جو سامراء میں قید ہوا 11واں امام، جو سامراء میں قید ہوا 12واں 11واں امام، حضرت کو بھی رلاتا رہا ماجرائے شام، ارواح پنجتن کو ستایا 1000 ہے، ارواح پنجتن کو ستایا 1000 ہے، جنت پہ مصطفیٰ کو رلایا 1000 ہے، تربت سے فاطمہ کو اٹھایا 1000 ہے، تربت سے فاطمہ کو اٹھایا 1000 ہے، قبر شاہ نجف کو ہلایا 1000 ہے، دولت سرائے شاہ سے آنے لگی فغاں، دولت سرائے شاہ سے آنے لگی فغاں، لو مومنوں یتیم ہوئے صاحب زمان، لو مومنوں یتیم ہوئے صاحب زمان، چھٹ کر پدر سے بے کس و تنہا تھے عسکری. صلوات.
محمد و آل محمد، آواز بلند صلوات.
جیسا کہ آپ لوگوں کے علم میں ہے، یہ مجلس آز کی خاص امام عسکری کے توسط سے ہوتی ہے 8 ربیع الاول کو، مگر ایام اعزا کی یہ آخری مجلس بھی ہے، تو اس حساب سے میں ایک الوداعی سلام پیش کر رہا ہوں جناب نجم افندی صاحب کا، تو ملاحظہ کیجئے. اور جس طرح کہ تقی بھائی نے بھی اشارہ کیا تھا کہ حالانکہ نام تو ہم اپنے والد کا لے کے چلتے ہیں، مگر جو محبت اہل بیت ہے وہ والدہ کی طرف سے ملتی ہے. آپ کی والدہ یہ پڑھا کرتی تھیں، میری والدہ یہ پڑھا کرتی تھیں الوداعی 8 ربیع الاول کو، تو میں وہی پیش کر رہا ہوں. موسم غم ختم ہے اے گل و زارو، الوداع الوداع اے فاطمہ زہرا کے پیارو، الوداع. موسم غم ختم ہے اے گل و زارو، الوداع. زیر خنجر تم نے جلتی ریت پر سجدے کیے، راہ حق کے سرفروشو سرگزارو، الوداع. موسم غم ختم ہے اے گل و زارو، الوداع. پھر ہمارے جیتے جی آنا ہمارے درمیان، اسے میں نے ترمیم کر دی ہے، یہ اصل میں ہے پھر ہمارے جیتے جی آنا دیار ہند میں، وہ وہاں پر پڑھتی تھی دیار پاک میں کر کے، تو یہاں تو دونوں بھی فٹ نہیں ہوتے، میں نے اس کو بدل ہی دیا بالکل. پھر ہمارے جیتے جی آنا ہمارے درمیان، اے ہمارے مرنے جینے کے سہارو، الوداع. موسم غم ختم ہے تمہاری یاد میں بے چین عرض کربلا، حفظ خالق میں دیا جاؤ سدھارو، الوداع. موسم غم ختم ہے اور تم نے باطل کو مٹایا، تم نے حق چمکا دیا، آسمان حریت کے ماہ پارو، الوداع. اپنی جانیں دے کے تم نے روح تازہ پھونک دی، ملت اسلامیہ کے جانثارو، الوداع. موسم غم ختم ہے، حشر میں آنا یہی خونی کفن پہنے ہوئے، دودھ مانے مصطفیٰ کے وضعدارو، الوداع. موسم غم ختم ہے اے گلزارو، الوداع. رخصت گہوار بے شیرو تابوت و زری، الوداع درد و غم کی یادگارو، الوداع موسم غم ختم ہے اے گلزارو، الوداع اشک ماتم کے سوا کچھ نظر کے قابل نہیں، اشک ماتم کے سوا کچھ نظر کے قابل نہیں، درد دل کی سلطنت کے تاجدارو، الوداع موسم غم ختم ہے، جان و دل قرباں ذرا کہہ دو لبے اعجاز سے، اے شہید کربلا کے سوگوارو، الوداع موسم غم ختم ہے اے گلزارو، الوداع نجم کو بھی یاد رکھنا دارو گیرے حشر میں، اے زمین کربلا کے چاند تارو، الوداع الوداع اے فاطمہ زہرا کے پیارو، الوداع موسم غم ختم ہے اے گلزارو، الوداع الوداع اے فاطمہ زہرا کے پیارو، الوداع موسم غم ختم ہے۔ Mu'mineen, Assalamu alaikum. Today's majlis is sponsored by Tanveer Raza family, and ان کے لیے فاتحہ پڑھ دیجیے آپ لوگ. I'll say some names and please include your walidain and ajdad and everybody who's present here, and especially this family who's sponsoring tonight's majlis. Tanveer Raza, Tabir Raza, Danish Rubina, Abdul Ghafoor, Maqbool, Jan Lal, Khan Sahab and Sahib Jan. And then we have an announcement for tomorrow. Inshallah, we will have Jashan-e Zahra tomorrow night, starting with Maghribain prayers, which is at 7:50, I think, tomorrow. And we'll start the program at that time, and we'll carry on after the Maghrib prayers for the Jashan. If you are interested in reciting a manqabat or anything else appropriate for the occasion tomorrow, please contact management, so we can put you in line for the recitation. And with this, I'm going to invite our brother, Shaykh Saed Ali Kulayni, again tonight for his second lecture of the series. Bar Muhammad wa ale Muhammad salawat. Bar digar salawat.
Please recite Surah Al-Fatiha. I'll start with the condolences of the martyrdom of our beloved Imam Hasan Askari alayhi salam. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام أشرف المرسلين وخاتم النبيين أكمل مجتبى أبي قاسم محمد مصطفى الله وللطيبين الطاهرين لا إله إلا الله جليل الجبار لا إله إلا الله عزيز الغفار لا إله إلا الله واحد القهار لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له إلها واحدا نحن له مخلصون لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له إلها واحدا نحن له مسلمون لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له إلها واحدا نحن له عابدون قال الله تعالى في محكم كتاب عزيز بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر صلوات Are you sure? No, I'm positive. What makes you think I don't know for sure that what I'm doing? I have certainty on the direction in which I am going. I am 100% certain. We hear this a lot of times when people question us about what we're about to do. Because in actuality, there is no way in life that someone is going to do something if they have any type of doubt. So we find that certainty is something that is actually a part of everyday life. That you have to be certain about the action in which you are about to commit. It's obvious. You have to come to certainty. In other words, from an Islamic perspective, you have to have yaqeen. We have to see like, okay, we never really look at it from this perspective that I have to be certain about everything I do. For example, just look, right? When we believe in Allah, we are definitely certain that He is the creator. We cannot say, oh, I believe in Allah, but I have some doubt. No, with certainty, we find ourselves moving towards that thing that we are certain about, closer and closer because of that certainty that we have reached. It's no way of worshiping Allah without certainty. It's a common thing, isn't it? Say, oh, I doubt Allah is the creator. No, you can't say that. But how do we reach this certainty? Because in actuality, there are different steps and stages for a person to get to a certain level of certainty. We have to first have this thing that's called ilm al-yaqeen. Let me give you an example on this. Like say I'm standing right here and I look towards Highway 400 and I see smoke. Now in my mind, I see smoke. I say, oh, something must be burning. Have knowledge of something is burning. But as I go closer to that place, I now see it's burning. So now I have Ainul Yaqeen. I see that it is burning. It is a fire there. But how do I get Hakul Yaqeen? Well, I go towards that fire and like a child, we go and we touch the fire. And then I start to see that this is a reality, that it is definitely fire. And how I know I have the Hakul Hakim, I have the Hakul Yaqeen, I have the surety with no doubt that is fire. That means that there'll be nothing that could come to me and say, oh no, this is not fire. I am sure. We have this same type of incident when we start to think about Allah Azza Jalla. First, we have what? Knowledge of Allah. We hear about Allah, whether through television, through books, through the words of someone on minbar. our parents, or whatever it is. So now we have the ilm al-yaqeen of who Allah is. Right? We have the ilm al-yaqeen of who Allah is. Then how do we get this Ainul Yaqeen? Allah, He said for us to know Him through the creation of ourselves and the creation of what around us. We start to look at ourselves and say, man, mashallah, I am a human being. I stand on 2 feet. I walk upon the earth. My body has a heart, lungs, kidney, everything that's in this body, they all work together. And if one thing fell, it affects everything else. We start to say to ourselves, we say, oh man, within this body, I have a universe within a universe. So now I'm starting to say, it has to be something that's out there that created this great body of mine and this universe in which it's inside of it. So then you start to have the ilm. And as you start to go towards and learning more and more about the creation of yourself and the creation around you, and you start to ponder more and more, because as we start to ponder, we start to know, and what happened is that we become sure, positive. There was definitely Haqqul Yaqeen at that moment. Because now we are sure that Allah is the creator of everything that is around us, whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth. So we see through that point, we have reached the level of Haqqul Yaqeen and nothing can stop us. So we see that this type of thing is something in which we do every day. Every day, this is an everyday thing. Just imagine, we say, okay, that's just, Shaykh, no, you just say it because Allah, you come through that. What about my everyday life? You say it maybe, well, sometimes I have doubt about things, but, you never do things with doubt, do you? Just imagine, we go make wudu. So we go towards the water. Now, if we doubt if that water is clean, tahir or najis, can we make the wudu? We have to be sure that this water is pure. But not only that, we have to make sure that this water is what? Not yursub, that this water is not stolen or whatever, or somebody said that you cannot use this water. So we have to have some surety as that. So once we find ourselves purified, then we go towards the place in which we need to pray. Say that place, we have to say, well, maybe this place is najis. No. We have to say, no, with surety, this place is tahir. Or know for a fact that this place is pure. Then we start to search for the direction of the Qibla. Can we pray if we in that direction, if we're not sure? If we have doubt, if that's the direction? If we have doubt, if that is the direction we find, like scholars like Saed Sistani would say, you have to pray in all 4 directions if you're not sure. So you see that even with this, you have to be sure that the direction in which you pray towards is the Qibla. You have to have yaqeen. You have to have surety. You have to have some type of surety. We can't get away from this surety thing. And surety is something that is, how can I say it is something we all should have. We hear from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said the best thing that could be cast inside of the heart is surety, yaqeen. The best thing that could be cast in the heart is surety. If you look at this riwayah, this hadith in which he says, we start to think like, man, through surety, I come to all my conclusions. From the beginning, you cannot worship Allah if you are not sure if He is the creator. Through surety, we stand up in the morning and we get out of that warm, cozy bed that's all so soft, because some people have posturepedic beds and those foams and all that nice beds, that heating and all this good stuff. And you get out that nice warm bed into a cold house, and you go into that bathroom and you perform that wudu with that cold water. And then while you're still asleep, you say Allahu Akbar and you start to pray where everyone else is asleep. Because of surety that he is the creator, this is the reason why we worship him, because once we find out through surety that he is the creator, then and we are the creation, then we say, oh, Allah deserves to be worshipped. And this only comes by what? Through surety. Through surety. So we find that surety is something that is very important. And if it's cast in the hearts of the people, this is a great thing. It's a great thing. You can't get around it. If you really think about it, certain things in which Allah has prescribed for the believers and placed in us that is so natural that we never really take time to think about it until someone talks about it and you say, yeah, I never thought about that, but man, mashallah, Allahu Akbar. Allah put something in my heart like this that makes me unbreakable when someone comes towards me with something that goes against how Allah is and what Allah is, and try to convince me, but through my surety of what Allah says, the look around has made me so strong that nothing can break this foundation. Because surety is that foundation that's unbreakable. Whereas doubt, you could break doubt. You could break doubt. This is why we are told from Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali alayhi salam, that surety should not be overridden by doubt. He should not. If you have haq at the beginning, then you start to doubt, you ignore that doubt and go back to surety. You go back to the thing that you are sure about. You go back to it. What happened is that we start to doubt after we have surety, because the shaitan starts to whisper in our ears and try to lead us astray and break our foundation when our foundation is so strong, because all actuality, his job is to whisper in our ear. And that's siratul mustaqim. As we walk towards it, he's trying to get us off of that, because what he will say, oh Allah, look at these people which you said that are great. I put doubt in their heart, and they went off that path and they kept on going because of that doubt. Ignore the doubt. That shock. Shock don't overrule haq. But unfortunately, we start to think that. I remember a story that said that this person went to Saed rahmatullah, and every time he made wudu, he doubted if the wudu was correct. So he goes to the Saed and said, how do you make wudu? Because he in there, he's doing all of this, he's doing that, he's doing everything. He's like, oh, I missed the spot. I don't think my wudu is correct. He started doing it again and doing it again, doing it again. The Saed is like, That's it. Oh, that's it? Yes. You find us in there, we start before the salat, we making wudu. The salat that came and left, we still making wudu. Oh, I missed the spot. Oh, did I do this? I forgot my head. Oh, my feet. Did I wipe my feet? Oh, man, the doubt. Oh, no, don't get the doubt. Leave the doubt alone and go to surety. Right? What's wrong with us? This is why surety is so important for us. So important. You know, the thing is, we look at surety. Well, Shaykh, man, how important surety is? It might not be all that important. Is it 50% important? Is it 75% important? Is it 100% important? Just imagine, right? If you think about, let's say, one of our desires is to be rich and wealthy, right? Have a lot of fulus, dinars, dirhams, whatever you want to call it. come in many different names, but it all means the same. We're going to spend it, or either our wife is going to take it from us. Either way, this is what's going to happen. So we look at how important this is. We look at a riwayah in which is also from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says, certainty is sufficient like wealth and riches. SubhanAllah. Godly, like wealth and riches. Who can live without wealth and riches? That's what some people desire, wealth and riches. So if you desire these type of things, that you should desire that Allah should cast that certainty in your heart, because that gives you that strong foundation, that unbreakable foundation, because you are sure what you are doing. Now, I'm talking about surety of good things. I'm not talking about surety of bad things. Let me give a disclaimer, because they always say, well, Maulana said you have to be sure about, the things which you're doing. So let me commit this haram act because I'm sure that I should do it. No. Disclaimer, I'm talking about all the things in which Allah has told us to do. Do with surety, to believe in him, to worship him, be kind to parents, to be kind to neighbors, offer the 5 daily salat, pay the zakat, pay the khums. Do this with surety, because we know that Allah, he's telling us not for the benefit of himself, but the benefit of us. And if we knew the reason, we would say that these are the best of reasoning. At least I hope we say that, because I know it's so hard to give up the fulus. When it's time to give up or pay the zakat, we think of 8 million reasons of not giving it because the shaitan whispering us. Or when it's time to pay the khums, we think of 8 million reasons why we shouldn't do it. Everything that deals with financial wealth, we start to think about why we shouldn't do it. The doubts start coming in our head when we know that the certainty is that we should do it because it purifies ourselves. It's a purification. Allah, he had informed Rasulullah about this. And he said, Rasulullah, he said, it is 3 things in which I conceal from my slaves. And if I would reveal them, that they will never commit any sin. Now I started thinking about this, that Allah, he hides things from us. And if he was to reveal it, we would probably change how we see things in life. One of the things I want to talk about, he said that if I was to lift the veil and allow them to see me, that they will come to the point of contentment and certainty. Now, when we think about this, let's look at the story of Prophet Musa alayhi salam. Remember when he was roaming around and he told his wife and his children, let me go over here and get something, and he saw the burning bush, and Allah started to speak to him directly? How does this explain? How is this explained to us? That Prophet Musa became what? Content and what? He also got surety that this is not something that is obviously fake. Because imagine if you're walking around and all of a sudden a bush starts to talk to you and you say, oh, show yourself, and then he'd give a sign and whoop, something disappears. You will be content and you will have contentment. You will say, no, I am sure that this is definitely from the Creator. So Allah does things like this for the man so we can increase in our heart that surety. As we see what happened with Musa alayhi salam, that surety came, that certainty came. Yeah, it came into his heart. We see another example of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. Even though he had surety, he had certainty, he asked Allah to what? Give me something else because I want more certainty. So in fact, that is nothing wrong with getting more and more and more certainty. We feel that certainty is only at one level. No, we ask Allah to increase our certainty, because the more certainty that we have, the less that we're going to transgress against Allah Azza wa Jalla. Think about it. If we worship Allah as though we see Allah, but we know we don't see Allah because we have that certainty in our heart, will we commit a sin? It's almost like when I was a kid, right? I remember this story. This stories always stick with me about when a person knows that something is being watched. Y'all probably know it was 3 children. This man gave them all chickens and said, wherever you cannot see Allah, you slaughter this chicken. So one, he goes, he slaughtered the chicken. Other go, he slaughtered the chicken. The third will come back with the chicken. He said, what happened? They slaughtered the chicken, but you didn't slaughter the chicken. What happened? He said, wherever I went, Allah see me. How do we come to this decision? Through certainty that wherever we go, Allah is going to see us. That it does not matter where we try to hide. We may hide from the eyes of man, but we cannot hide from the sight of Allah Azza Jalla. Because through that certainty, we know that Allah is always watching and that there are angels always jotting down our good and bad deeds. Through certainty, we know this. And because of this, we walk on the earth with righteousness. We walk on earth with righteousness. Through this certainty. You see a person that's not certain about Allah, they're like, well, I'm not sure, if there's a creator. I think nowadays people say the most craziest thing now, I'm spiritual. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Because they're not certain of creation, because no one had told them about look at yourself and look at the creation around you to get that certainty about Allah Azza wa Jalla. Say, oh, I'm just spiritual. I don't know. I just can't figure out what that means. I'm sorry. I've been trying to fathom what that means. I've been boggled. All right, I understand. Okay, you worshiping Allah Azza wa Jalla. You're doing all that He tells you to do. You're refraining from what He's telling you not to do. Then you become spiritually inclined to do more and more and increase that iman. And what happens is that certainty increase more and more. That's it. Well, that is spirituality to me. But what you are saying is not correct. Because people are not certain. They are not trying to reach this certainty. When you are certain, there are things in which you will do to make your life better. Think about it. There was this king. I said this king was a just king. He was a just, fair king, fair judge king. So this king, he had a problem. He became obese. And because of this obesity, he became sick and he was unable to move. So you know that once you start getting a certain way in illnesses, it affects you really harshly. It can. So the king, he asked his wazir to please find me a physician, a doctor, so I can get cured. Because actually, he was a good king. He was a fair king. He wasn't unjust to the people. He was kind. He just became obese from maybe not moving around much. Who knows? Allah knows best. But he became immobilized, unmobile. He could not move no more. So the wazir got some physicians, and none of these physicians was able to help this king. Unfortunately, he was not able to help him. So there was a wise man that they found. And they went to the wise man and they brought him to the king. And he said to the king, well, look, I am not going to prescribe to you any medication yet. He said, because you're going to die in 40 days. You're going to die in 40 days. He said, if you live so, after 40 days, I will come back and I will give you medication. Right? So the king was like, okay. So you find out that since now this king it's certain that he's going to die. And he did not want to die in a state of obesity. He started to take care of himself and start moving around. Got to the point within the 40 days, he lost so much weight that he was able to move and do things like he was able to do previously before he became obese. Now, mind you, he was certain that he was going to die because this guy, he said, look, he's going to die within 40 days. This guy's a professional. So then they brought back the guy, and he said to the king, well, I really didn't have medicine to give you. I just said this for you to change, in other words. So we see that when a person has certainty that they will change their life, change their actions to be the best. Like how this king did, because once he became certain through this physician, this wise man, that he was going to leave this earth, he realized that I do not want to leave this earth in this way. I do not want to leave here this way. I'm going to make myself better. He was certain, and through this certainty, through this yaqeen, he made his life better. So we see that when we get to the level of yaqeen, it should change our lives to the better. If not, Allah Subhanahu would never gave us this. He would have never placed it in our heart or allowed this to be placed in our heart. Rasulullah would never said that this is sufficient like wealth or riches. Allah will not inform Rasulullah that if he would reveal himself, that the person would be what? He would have, he would be content, have contentment, and also in all these other things. So you see that this is very important. It's very important. There's no way of getting around this. We have to look at this in that way. How important that certainty and how we must reach this certainty. We must strive to reach this certainty. We must strive to reach this certainty because in actuality, nothing comes towards us unless we work for it. We're going to be like, oh, Allah, please give me certainty. Oh, when I saw a TikTok, it was this little Asian girl, and she would see the book, she'd rub the book and do like this so she get osmosis of the book. No, you're not going to get certainty that way by saying, oh, give me certainty. No, you have to work towards certainty. You first must have what? Ilm al-Yaqeen, right? Then you have Ainul Yaqeen. Then you become Haqqul Yaqeen. So it is a step up the ladder, as we said. Go up the ladder, go up the steps until you reach that point of surety. That surety that is unbreakable. So when the shaitan or the shaitan helpers come with you with that doubt, you say, sure way, I am sure that this is definitely the truth. I'm sure that this is the truth. This is how we should see things, right? That hawk is serious, man. Many people have doubt with things. And because of this doubt, they cannot function. You're not able to function. You become unfunctional because you doubt more than the average. You doubt too much. Even when you know for sure that you shouldn't doubt, you still do it. This is unfortunate, of course. I remember a story, and this is very interesting. And it was when Imam Jafar Sadiq, alayhi salam, he said, oh, my brothers of Jews. Jews was a tribe, Banu Jews. He said, belief is superior to Islam. I was like, wow. I said, belief is superior to Islam. Because you could have Islam and don't believe. I said, man, mind blowing. Wow. Like, wow, this is deep here. I said, then I started to think more. Like, man, if you have belief, man, you believe, you all right. Then it goes on and says that certainty is superior to belief. I said, whoa, this is deep here. I took my glasses off, rubbed my eye for a minute, put my glasses back on. I said, oh man, this is all right. I almost went to the other room and told my wife, but I was like, oh, she probably taking a nap. Right? I said, man, this is all right. And I started to think about it. You can have belief and be doubtful in things. But if you have certainty, it overrides all these things. You are certain in your belief. And because you believe, you follow what Allah tells you in Islam. It's like a chain reaction. And then it goes on and says, nothing is more dearer than certainty. I said, subhanAllah. Nothing is more dearer than certainty. Nothing. We walk on this earth with certainty, with that yaqeen. I don't care what you may say, what you may do. I know that Allah is Akbar. No, Allah is Al-Razak. No. I know Allah is Al-Khaliq. He is the creator. I see it. I know Allah is the one who has my life and my death in his hands. I know it. There's nothing that you could say or do that give me any type of doubt. No, nothing. Because of that yaqeen, that haqqul yaqeen, nothing you can say or do. I don't care what you try to pull on me. I know. There's no doubt about it. When we look at those who have this type of haqqul yaqeen, we look at Al-Widai alayhi salam. Al-Widai was unshakable. Unshakable. When you read the stories of Al-Widai, when people come to them, they was the best in their field of crazy. Al-Widai showed them, like, no, this is the true way. This is why, through all the time, regardless of what imam there was always afraid of that imam. Because of that strong yaqeen that the Al-Widai had. We see this also during the time of Imam Hasan Askari, alayhi salam. You know, Imam Hasan Askari's situation is very interesting. Let's go back into the past, or they say in Arabic, fil madi, in the past. Let's go in the past. Remember when Faroon was told that there is going to be somebody that's going to give him some problems, what did he do? He started to go after the male children. But let's also go further than that. How about the time with Nimrod, during the time of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he had the same type of ideology, that he went after the children of male, so much so that Prophet Ibrahim's mother had to hide him. And then when he became a certain age and said, who is this child? He said, oh, he was always here. He was always here. We had the same type of situation when we look at Imam Hasan Askari. Because the scholars of Islam and also these kings and tyrants, they realize that he will be the father of that imam in which Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam foretold about. That ruler that will overthrow and bring justice to society. They know they have haqqul yaqeen on this one. They are sure. And because of this, you found that from a very beginning that Imam Hasan Askari was in jail, watched, or whatever it may be for the first 22 years of his life. In the deep surveillance. Not by one Khalifa, not by two Khalifas, three. And I mean Khalifa, I don't mean good Khalifas neither. Bad ones. So I got to make sure. Because there'd be somebody on the internet say, oh, look, Malana said Khalifa. He talking about Khalifa Rashidun. No. Never ever heard of them guys. Talking about the true Ahlul Bayt Khalifaship in which Allah Azza wa Jalla has, like I said, made them the true ones to follow. Because we see that during that time, even though the Imam was under such watchful eye of these Khalifas, the so-called kingdom was scared because of the power and love into which those who followed the Imam would increase. And we see that it was some people that was very influential that also followed the Imam. So in other words, this so-called tyrant was scared. He started to say that I need to put him in prison, even though the Imam kept on going back and forth prison throughout his time. He said, I'm going to put him in prison. No, I can't put him in prison because I'll put him in prison. The guard is going to be inclined to him. They said the guard is going to be inclined to him. And we see that whenever a guard came that would watch Imam, they will see him in constant worship, constant dua. The kindness in which this Imam was, it brought the people closer to the Imam. And they felt that, oh, this is a compromise, this so-called torture in which I want to put upon this Imam. Then they started to say, well, we should put him on house arrest inside the kingdom. They thought about it. They said, no, the whole kingdom has been following Ahlul Bayt. He said, no. Oh, I know what we're going to do. We're going to put him on house arrest. And we're going to watch him. Because even though they had him on house arrest, they attempted to kill him one time in Kufa, one time in Samarra. All these places, they tried to kill the Imam many times because they did not want that savior to be born. So they constantly watched what he was doing, like a surveillance that is inside of the room to make sure that this Imam is not born. But if we look at this is also how the ones who did Imam Hussein alayhi salam thought. They wanted to crush the progeny of Fatima, crush the progeny of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. But how can you crush something in which Allah Azza wa Jalla has established? Give that example. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, I'm about to create a vicegerent, a Khalifa on the earth. Ahlul Bayt. When Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam became prophet, then Imam, he said, will this reach my offspring? He said, it will not reach the unjust. And those people that was ruling over Ahlul Bayt was the unjust. So we see that Allah's plan came into fruition because they was not the unjust, they was the just. They was the ones in which Allah has placed on this earth as their guide for us. And they was scared. They was nervous. Man, they was so scared that the Khalifa or the ruler of that time, when he heard that the Imam has fell ill through the poison in which he administered, ain't that something? He went to go and see the Imam with brought physicians and also judges. He went there to investigate. Listen how hateful these people are against Ahlul Bayt. How can you poison a person and then go see if you're going to die? This is the mindset of a tyrant. This is the mindset of those who are considered the descendants of who? Umayyad. Even though they might have been Abbasi, Khalifa, same ideology, different people. In Nafsi shares, they said same thing. Same ideology, different people. He go there and then they see that the Imam, even though that he was in pain from the poison, he stayed patient all the way to the end when he fell and he died that way. They said that once the Imam had died, that he sent people there to start to look at all the slave women and see who amongst them is pregnant, to make sure that if they are pregnant, this is not the Imam. Because if it was the Imam, they would have eliminated. They said that he did this for 2 years after the death of the Imam. But Allah is the best of planners. Allah had made the Imam born already. So much so that his mother did not reveal. So much so that when his own aunt went to him and said, don't worry about it, it will happen tonight. And when the Imam was born, it was concealed from those who was. And only the ones that was pious was able to see the Imam. This guy, after he poisoned the Imam, then he tried to show good face and go to the funeral of the Imam, as though he is pious and upright. This is the example of tyrants, from whether they are from the Abbasid or the Umayyad. The same ideology is to crush not only Ahlul Bayt, but what Allah has established on the earth, where he said, I am about to put a Khalifa on the earth. We see this example that how they did the family of Ahlul Bayt in Karbala from the beginning. This is not something that we can say, oh, it's just a coincidence. No. As we see that after they kill all the men, they start to go towards the tents of the women. They start to burn the tents. They start to ravish things. They see someone like Bibi Sakina, they slap her, rip the earlobes, have her running on fire, have the women without hijab going through the town. These are women that never ever went out the house without hijab. Had the women all cooped up. Had everybody on the edge and tried to take away that flame in which was started by Allah Subhanahu. It continued with Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and all the way through to our last Imam Mahdi Ajallahu Ta'ala Farajahum Sharif. These people want to extinguish the flame of Islam. They know, because if there was no Islam and people did not have that yaqeen, they could do stuff towards the Imam, like Imam Hasan Askari, and no one would care. We look at the example of the people of Sham, how they worship Umayyad. He was able to tell them everything and have them thinking that the house of the Rasulullah was something bad. Here we look at the truth in which Allah has set forth, the haqq, that we see that when Allah set out a task, it is complete, and when he protected, no one can hurt it. Regardless that they either poisoned our imams or killed them, Allah made sure that the light of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam is still burning strong, regardless of where it is. It doesn't matter, it's still burning strong. The reason is we sit here, we talk about Imam Hasan Askari as though he had left us yesterday. We imagine that when we're standing there and we see the Imam, he started to collapse through the pain, but he became patient. We can imagine us being there. We can imagine what he went through the entire with such a short imamate. How can somebody of only 28 years old go through so much hardship through the hands of people who said, oh, I am Muslim? Astaghfirullah. How can this happen? These are the same people who, when they heard Sakina crying. They brought the head of Imam Hussein on a tray and brought it towards her. These are the same type of people. They say, I'm gonna shut her down and bring the head of the Imam. These are the same ideology of the same people, just different times. These are the people that even though they knew that these was the family of Rasulullah, they still left him for dead in Karbala. Inna lillahi wa inna alayhi raji'un. Inna lillahi wa inna alayhi raji'un. Inna lillahi wa alayhi raji'un. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wal as innal insana la fi khus illa alladhina amanu wa aminu salihati wa tawassaw bil haqqi wa tawassaw bis sabr. Wa akhir da'wana walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi tahirin.
رو کے مادر یہ کرتی تھی نوحہ ہائے مارا حسن عسکری کو رو کے مادر یہ کرتی تھی نوحہ ہائے مارا حسن عسکری کو چل بسا میری گودی کا پالا ہائے مارا حسن عسکری کو رو کے مادر یہ کرتی تھی نوحہ ہائے مارا حسن عسکری کو ڈھونڈنے اس کو کس سمت جاؤں کہہ کے کیا اپنے دل کو مناؤں تھا ضعیفی کا میری سہارا ہائے مارا حسن عسکری کو رو کے مادر یہ کرتی تھی نوحہ ہائے مارا حسن عسکری کو سال 29واں کیسا آیا میرے بچے سے مجھ کو چھڑایا کر دیا میرا ٹکڑے کلیجا ہائے مارا حسن عسکری کو رو کے مادر یہ کرتی تھی نوحہ ہائے مارا حسن عسکری کو ہو کہاں اے میرے لال آؤ اپنی بیوہ کو آ کر مناؤ دیکھو گھر پڑتی ہے دہائے دکھیا ہائے مارا حسن عسکری کو دیکھو آ کر تڑپتی ہے دکھیا ہائے مارا حسن عسکری کو چل بسا میری گودی کا پالا ہائے مارا حسن عسکری کو، رو کے مادر یہ کرتی تھی نوحہ، ہائے ماں